Top Spiritual, and I'm back with another video, man. Simple. Now today I'm gonna talk about the ego. Everybody has an ego. The ego is what has helped you survive to this point in your life. The ego. But the thing is, what we're moving towards, the dimension we're moving towards, the ego isn't required. You don't need an ego. So you got to understand this. I see a lot of you guys asking me, how do I dissolve the ego? How do I get rid of my ego? It takes time to fully get rid of something that you've been using your entire life. That takes time. My advice to you is to learn how to control it. Because once you got that or anything under control, you can work towards moving away from it. So the ego isn't a bad thing. I see a lot of people talking about it and making it sound like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Be frank, no such thing as good or bad, just lessons. But the ego is something that you've needed throughout your life. If you didn't have it, probably wouldn't be alive right now. But everybody has an ego. The best thing you can do is identify that ego and identify when you're speaking from the ego and you're acting from the ego. Okay? A big part of that is realizing that you don't know everything. Realizing that you can be wrong. Realizing that you may speak to somebody and you may debate with somebody, and the thing that you're debating, the perspective you're giving, may not be the truth. You have to accept that. You have to accept those things. The ego when people try to meditate, people say meditation is boring. I can't meditate. I don't want to sit there. You see, I don't want to put thoughts in your head, but I love this truth, man. When you try to meditate, it may come across your mind that, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. I want to go play the game. I want to go outside. I want to play Fortnite. I want to do all these things. All those thoughts may come to you. That's your ego. Because you got to understand, the ego only knows this third dimensional realm. That's it. The ego cannot take you no further than this dimension. It can't. You have to control it. Because once you quiet that ego during meditation, during grounding, you can tap into what's real. You can download higher vibrational informations through your crown chakra. You can. You'll be able to receive messages, synchronicities. You'll be able to tap into what's real. But you must control the ego. You must control it. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm not saying this is all going to happen for you in a few days. I'm not saying that. It's all about control in everything. I see a lot of people talk about semen retention. It's all about control. All about control. Okay? So when it comes to how to control the ego, you have to identify the ego. Realize that's my ego speaking. That's not me. Realize what I said. That's my ego speaking. That's not me. Because who you are is life force, high vibrational energy. That's who you are. You have to work with the ego. You have to control the ego so you can truly become what you are. That high vibrational life force energy that is here animating this physical body. Okay? So it's very simple when it comes to how to control the ego. It's very simple. Identify it. Accept that you don't know everything. And the fact that you don't know everything means the possibilities of you knowing other things is infinite. It's infinite. So don't make it too complex. Don't think this is going to happen for you all at once. It's not. It's not. Because once you quiet that ego, once you control it, you'll realize what's real. You can identify with it. I'll give you guys another example. When you're playing a game, that game makes you so mad, you start cursing, you start raging, you start throwing things all over the place. And then after you do all that, You calm down, you relax, and you be like, what was that? Why was I doing that? I mean, I shouldn't have even been acting that way. That's your ego. That is your ego. You have to control that. So before you catch yourself getting upset, getting angry, about to lash out, about to berate somebody, about to pick on somebody, judge somebody, think, is that what I should be saying? Or is that my ego trying to speak through this body? Okay? Because remember, you are a being of light force energy. That energy doesn't want to berate anybody. That energy doesn't want to curse anybody out. No. People can trigger you and push you to the point where the ego will just take over because you allow it to. But again, once you calm down, you realize I wasn't myself. People say it all the time. They get upset. I wasn't myself. That wasn't me. I'm sorry. That was your ego. You have to learn how to control it. And once you got it under control, you can work towards moving away from it fully. Because in order to ascend to 5D, in order to ascend to the new earth, the ego must be completely dissolved. It must be completely gone. Okay? So to wrap this video up, it's very simple, guys. Identify it. Identify when it's your ego taking over, when it's your ego speaking. Okay? Just stop and think. Pause, stop, and think. All right? This isn't going to happen all in one night. Could take lifetimes. But remember, you've lived past lifetimes before now, so you don't know this may be the life where you can fully dissolve the ego. Okay? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Thank you to this huge, wonderful tree for allowing me to have its energy while I make this video. Ty Spiritual signing out, bro. Simple.